Oh, my favorite places. Anywhere new was a favorite place. I'd been to 50 countries throughout my life, and then I reset and said, no, we're going to all of them. I wanted to see what I hadn't seen before. So I started in Europe and did Western Europe, more or less, and then spiraled north around the Nordic countries, Scandinavia, and then went over the North Atlantic west. Eventually, I visited Faroe Islands and Greenland and Iceland and made my way to Canada, and Canada, US, Mexico, and then down through Central America, and then into South America for the first time in my life. So all of those countries were new to me, and that was really exciting and interesting. But it was also tiresome. You have to imagine that if you're traveling for leisure, you go for a couple of weeks or maybe a month. If it's a gap year, maybe 3 months or 6 months. And most people at the end of 6 months, they're good and ready to go home. They've met a lot of people. They've seen a lot of things. They're tired of living out of a bag. They want to go home and reflect on things and really recharge and then maybe go out at a later point. You do not meet a lot of people who are out there for a year. It's even more rare to meet people who's been out there for 2 years. It's almost like coming across a unicorn. And it's because it becomes work. It's just sitting in buses and trains alone. It's very repetitive, although you see wonderful things looking out the window and you have great experiences and you meet so many people and have fantastic conversations. It is repetitive in its own way. But with a project like this, if you say, I'm not coming home until I've been to every country and I'm not flying at any point, then you have this long list in front of you. And in the beginning, you're in Europe, you're traveling by train, you're ticking countries off one day after the other. Then it slows down, and eventually you see you got to 50 or 60 countries and you still have 140 to go, which is a lot. And it becomes hard. What was just amazing and fantastic turns into work. So it's gradually, it goes from 1 or 2% work to 99% work. And yeah, so I finished South America and the Caribbean and came back to Europe and got into Africa from Spain into Morocco, did Western Africa and Central Africa and came to about my halfway point in terms of countries. And that was 2 years in. And I just couldn't. I was done for. I had cerebral malaria. I lost the financial backing. My long distance relationship was very shaky. I was held at gunpoint. 3 of the ships I traveled on board were at the bottom of the sea. The level of corruption and chaos and the workload in getting the necessary paperwork, be it visas or permits, and a lack of understanding of what I was trying to accomplish, I was just done for. That got me to the halfway point, and then I was ready to go home.
So then what happened? Did you?
Yeah, this is a good question. It's still a little bit of a mystery to me. The overall project ended up taking nearly 10 years. So 9 years, 9 months, and a bit. Come late July this year, 2024. It will be a full year since I returned home. So I'm still reflecting over a great deal of things. And I have answers for most things, I feel, but I still do not know why I didn't quit. I should have quit a million times. I really don't know what was the real source of continuing. And that's a bit of a mystery to not only to me, but to a lot of people. And I'm still exploring that. But yeah, so it didn't get much easier after that. And there was still this tiredness within the project of there's this list and you have to get up and you have to do something. If you do nothing, then it doesn't continue. And then you'll just sit there and not reach the final countries. You have to do something. You have to get the tickets. You have to find out which borders to cross and how to keep everything moving. And then when I was down to the last 9 countries, a global pandemic broke out and I got stuck for 2 years.
Where were you stuck during the pandemic then?
I was stuck in Hong Kong, which there's a great irony about, I find, because Hong Kong wasn't on the list of countries to visit. So I'd been to China and I counted Hong Kong part of Greater China. So I had no need to go to Macau or to Hong Kong within this project. And I wasn't adding territories. I just wanted to get home. But I was trying to navigate between different island nations within the Pacific. And the shipping company I was collaborating with said, we do not have a direct connection to your next country, which was Palau. But what they did have was a ship that could take me up to Hong Kong, and then I could do 4 days of transit and then get on another ship to Palau. And I went, fine, let's go to Hong Kong. I don't mind. Hong Kong's a great place. Yeah. The pandemic. And I got stuck in Hong Kong for 2 years.
Look, we're laughing about it now.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating to hear how early on, relatively early on compared to your whole journey, it got really tough for you. And there was something innately which just made you go on and do this. And then you obviously experience all of those, like being held at gunpoint when was that?
It happened several times. But the one time where I thought, this is it, I'm dying, I have seconds or minutes left, was in the middle of the night on a dirt road in a jungle, very close to the border with Congo. I was in the very south of Cameroon. And I love those countries. And I have so many good memories from those countries. I actually look back at the world and I look back at people. And in terms of people, I feel that as long as we're dealing with people, it's like playing a reversed lottery, where you're winning constantly. It's so hard to lose. Or in a conventional lottery, you buy a ticket, you hope to win, but you're going to lose. But with people, you're just winning and winning and winning. But there is the off chance that you will lose. And that was just a night where I lost.